for an insurance claim after any of the ends are switching identity?
In episode 6, Jen is invited to be a bridesmaid for her friend's wedding.
Yes, it's a self-contained wedding episode.
This is set up for subversion, as the episode will further develop multiple plot lines established in previous episodes, while also setting up things for the future, making it not at all self-contained. Jen wants to use this as an opportunity to show off, so she arrives as She-Hulk, receiving much awe and praise. Lulu, the bride, takes her aside and says,
I can't believe you're doing this to me. Taking all the attention away from me with your...
All eyes are gonna be on you. It's your big day.
I know it's my big day. I don't want you to be all hulky at my wedding.
The episode is about the conflict between Jen's selfish desire to show off and Lulu's desire to be the center of attention at her own wedding. In a well-written show, the resolution would involve Jen learning humility and putting aside her vacuous wants for the sake of her friend's big day.
Not everything is about you, Jennifer.
She would finally grow as a character. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Jen came to the wedding not to support her friend and her relationship, but to show her up and inflate her ego.
Yes, it's a self-contained wedding episode, but I'm gonna look great, so let's go. Yeah, obviously this is the one time I didn't want to show up as just Jen. I just wanted to come to one wedding and show that I was actually doing pretty good.
Yet the show wants the audience to root for her. So the writers do everything they can to paint Lulu as the unreasonable asshole and Jen as the put-upon heroine who can't catch a break.
Are you dating a guy? A boy? Is there a boy in your life?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, you'll find someone. Don't feel bad.
Oh, I don't feel bad.
That's right. You know what? You still have a little bit of time. Half the event staff is like quitting because of how I'm treating them. Do you think you could help me like clean some stuff up around here, straighten up, take up some of these empties, like tidy up?
So everyone's coupled up. Do I not have a groomsman?
No, you're gonna be walking with Jonathan. He's gonna be at the ceremony tomorrow.
Jen, your groomsman
is here.
He's here. Jonathan is here.
He's so brave. We just had to resuscitate him this morning.
Of course.
Be careful, he leaks a little.
We're meant to support Jen's endeavor, despite it being the epitome of vapid. Jen is shocked when Titania appears.
Titania.
Hey, girl. Hey.
You made it. You're so busy, though. You have like 5,000 businesses.
I thought you didn't want to be upstaged at your own wedding. Why would you be okay with Titania but not She-Hulk? The writers have created this contradiction because they want to maintain the conflict between Jen and Lulu, while also setting up a battle with Titania for later in the episode. Frustrated, Jen sits outside eating candy and hits it off with a guy named Josh. A day or so later, the party is in full swing. Because she can't show off, Jen opts to get hammered.
Everyone is always so saying about how She-Hulk is amazing. They're always saying, I just want to be amazing tonight.
I think you're pretty great.
What is this opinion based on? You saw her stuff her face with candy, get drunk, then whine about how amazing her life is. What do you see that's so great? This line only works because the next episode reveals Josh was lying through his teeth. Jen has to rush outside to vomit, and Josh just disappears. Probably because the show wants a secluded confrontation between Jen and Titania. How is Jen's face not caved in? Despite being the Hulk, Bruce was still susceptible to injury while in human form. And why didn't this trigger a Hulk out? You're telling me she managed to remain 100% calm when the superpowered lady suddenly clobbered her in the face?
I literally said this isn't over. So now I am going to publicly destroy you. Oh.
How does beating up Jen help you? She-Hulk is well liked, so attacking her isn't going to score you any points in the public eye. Also, you're risking another arrest for assault. Although, if I got off scot-free after attempted murder, I guess I'd feel untouchable too. Wait, how does no one already see this? A lady is getting kicked around a couple feet from a crowded room. Is everyone deaf and blind?
You do not get to ruin everything for me for something that you don't even want, something you don't even deserve. So now I am forced to prove it.
What the hell is this bitch talking about? Jen stopped Titania from murdering a bunch of innocent people. As a result, Titania swore vengeance upon her. Did she want to kill those people that bad?
Oh no, I forgot how to do it.
What? The show has completely given up on consistency regarding her powers. Jen eventually hulks out and demonstrates how little regard she has for others' safety. She smashes the ground so Titania gets flung directly into the wedding guests. And then she punches her so she slams right into a waiter. All the while, Jen doesn't show the least bit of concern. Why is there triumphant superhero music? She's not there to save anyone. In fact, her presence puts them in more danger. That's better.
My veneers.
How did a simple fall do that when a Hulk punch didn't? Titania runs off in humiliation. Lulu enters.
Oh my god. She-Hulk is at my wedding. I love you so much. I'm a fan.
What? This is a total 180 from her beliefs at the start of the episode. She's had a convenient change of heart, so Jen doesn't have to suffer any consequences for breaking her promise. She now gets exactly what she wanted without having to work for it. In the episode's B-plot, Mallory takes on a divorce case for a man called Mr. Immortal. He's been married many times and fakes his death whenever he wants to separate. His past has caught up to him, and several of his spouses are trying to get financial compensation from him. Mallory and Nikki prove to be awful at their jobs, explicitly acting against their clients' interests.
No, you just don't know how to have any sort of confrontation whatsoever.
I thought that lawyers were supposed to not be judgmental.
No.
I will get you the best possible deal, but let me tell you this. You're gonna have to pay.
Why are you smiling?
It's kind of fun. Amy, you are going to receive a sincere apology with the meaningful eye contact. Lasting at least 15 seconds.
Oh. Is that the absolute best you can do on eye contact?
And so, Amy, that's 20 seconds of eye contact. And remember, everyone, what's our mantra? Never again.
If he wanted to, Mr. Immortal could get them on the hook for malpractice, but he doesn't. He doesn't even consider getting a new lawyer when the current one drove him to jump out a window. And the writers continue to prove they know nothing about law. They meet up with Mr. Immortal's spouses to hash out an agreement in an afternoon. It definitely doesn't work like that. You don't just get a dozen conflicting parties in a room and reach a divorce settlement in a few hours. None of them even have their lawyers present. Almost nothing about Mr. Immortal makes sense.
Instead of having a conversation with your wife, you kill yourself to get out of the relationship.
Whoa. Why would someone like that continue to get married? What does he gain?
I just don't understand why anyone that afraid of conflict keeps getting married.
And now the show is criticizing itself. Acknowledging a writing flaw doesn't make the flaw go away. No one addresses the obvious bombshell. There exists a man who is immortal. Do you understand what this does to the world building? The MCU is forever changed. Who is this guy? Where does he come from? Why isn't he being questioned or studied? He possesses the secrets of eternal life.
Now we will live forever.
On the topic of his power, it actually plays no significant role in the conflict. He could be a normal guy and nothing changes. Either way, he has to fake his death and forge a new identity.
Not only did you fake your own death multiple times, you also forged multiple fake identities.
The writers aren't creative enough to play off his power in any other way, making it a pointless aspect of the story. At the end of the episode, Mallory and Nikki discover an internet forum dedicated to hating She-Hulk. They scroll through a bunch of memes, created by people who only yesterday learned what a meme is. When you Hulk, but you still dumb. That doesn't even make sense. Wouldn't the stereotype be that becoming a Hulk makes you dumber? What are these? What's the joke? If you needed any more evidence that these writers are out of touch.
Lulu, Team Edward or Jacob?
Mixed in with the memes are death threats. One claims that She-Hulk hates men. Given the very limited public appearances she's made, I don't understand how anyone in-universe could have come to that conclusion. Nikki tells Jen about the website.
It's called Intelligentsia, and it's all of these memes and death threats.
The show's jumbled together memes and death threats in this blatant attempt to conflate the two. But why? You see, memes are often used to ridicule poor writing, so it's certain that the show's detractors partake in a meme or two. The writers are attempting to slander their critics as violent misogynists. It also demonstrates how ignorant the writers are. Memes are a universal method of spreading humor and ideas. The show's critics use memes, but so do the show's supporters. Everybody loves memes.
21.
Yet the writers seem to think only hateful idiots use them.
My friend sent me a link to a video posted on that site, Intelligentsia.
The one for hateful man babies?
Episode 7 begins with Jen and Josh having fun going on dates. This culminates in coitus, after which Josh vanishes and doesn't return Jen's texts. She obsessively waits for a reply. few days later, Blonsky's parole officer calls. Blonsky's inhibitor has malfunctioned, so he needs to investigate.
We don't have the resources for a squad of uniforms to go with me, so I was hoping you'd meet me there.
In case the abomination decides not to cooperate. Yeah.
The writers need to get Jen to Blonsky's meditation retreat, and this is the weak sauce excuse they've created to do so. Seriously, there's no one available to go check on the abomination? The extremely dangerous rage monster that just got parole. Nope, not buying it. Jen meets him at Blonsky's meditation retreat. The parole officer checks on the inhibitor. It's working now and likely malfunctioned due to a jolt from an electric fence. He leaves, but before Jen can depart, her car gets damaged during a tussle between two of Blonsky's guests. Stuck there until the tow truck arrives in the afternoon, Jen goes in search of cell service, so she can continue to watch for Josh's reply. She eventually finds a signal at Blonsky's group therapy cabin. Hung on the walls are inspiring quotes such as, "Today is today." Brilliant. After a few minutes, a man enters, Wrecker. He's the same guy that jumped Jen in episode 3. She immediately hulks out and attacks him.
Jennifer, darling, I'm gonna need you to sit in the calming chair right now.
Fine. As soon as I'm out of there, I'm gonna rip this guy to shreds.
Jeez, Jen. I know he previously attacked you, but right now he's a defenseless human cowering beneath a superpowered Hulk. This isn't self-defense, it's murder. As a lawyer, you should understand the difference. If you're so adamant about punishing him, why not call the police? At Blonsky and Wrecker's insistence, she hears them out.
I didn't need a magic crowbar to give me a false sense of power. All it did was make me and my boys act like idiots, rolling up on you like we were some supervillains.
Oh, you attacked a woman 4-1. You absolutely were super villains.
Since becoming a Hulk, Jen has consistently downplayed dangerous situations, not taking any threats to her person seriously. Earlier in this very episode, she said,
I don't care what a bunch of losers say about me online. Can't even say it to my face because they know they get Hulk smashed.
But here, she makes it sound like she was a defenseless damsel at the mercy of 4 supervillains. In case you forgot, this was her reaction at the time.
All right, let's do this.
When given the opportunity to enact revenge, suddenly she's very concerned about her safety.
And I take radical accountability for my actions.
If he wants to take accountability, why not turn himself into the police? The others admonish Jen for flying into a rage and attacking someone unprovoked. Blonsky points out Jen's obsession with her phone and encourages her to talk about her issues.
You know in high school, that friend that you have that's like cooler than you are, like more attractive and athletic? Hello. You think life would be so much easier if I were that person. And I can turn into that person anytime I want to. And everyone pays attention when I'm this. It feels like cheating because would they like me if I didn't have all of this? Would the same guys who like She-Hulk stick around for Jen?
She's frustrated that people prefer She-Hulk over regular Jen. What's interesting is that Jen could be She-Hulk virtually all the time. She specifically chooses not to. Despite everything being better as She-Hulk, the thought of becoming a Perma-Hulk doesn't even cross her mind.
Would the same guys who like She-Hulk stick around for Jen? Because some of them don't. And that sucks for Jen because Jen is great. And no one cares when they're She-Hulk.
Here's the issue. Jen isn't great. She's selfish, judgmental, and immoral. The difference between Jen and She-Hulk is just physical. There's no meaningful difference in personality. This means that She-Hulk's popularity is purely based on how attractive she is, and how impressive her superpowers are. These traits distract people from her awful personality. In a good show, this would lead into a huge revelation for Jen, inspiring her to work on herself as a person. However, it doesn't work out that way.
Screw this guy. Where does he live?
Let's kill him. That's right, he's gotta die.
Josh has made an enemy of this entire group.
Maybe this Josh thing hurts so much because you haven't been spending enough time with Jen.
And that's a shame, because I bet Jen is pretty damn great.
Despite barely knowing her, they're quick to inflate her ego. Ironically, her large ego is exactly the source of her problems. They're unknowingly making the situation worse. Yet the episode treats this like some great accomplishment.
Just maybe this Josh isn't the only guy who likes Jen Walters. Maybe there's a group of guys right here who would love to spend time with Jen right now.
Do you believe that this group genuinely values the whole of you?
I do.
Y'all just met her. What are you talking about?
Maybe you can stop using She-Hulk as a protective shield and trust us with Jen.
Jen reverts back into human form, and it's treated like a big moment of character growth. But it's not. For most of the show's runtime, she's preferred to be Jen over She-Hulk. She's never used She-Hulk as a metaphorical shield. Where's this coming from? The group convinces Jen to delete Josh's number, and she leaves feeling uplifted. We cut to 3 days earlier, where it's revealed that Josh is a part of Intelligentsia.
What a fucking bastard!
Wait, if Intelligentsia's goal is to kill She-Hulk, why didn't Josh just shoot her in the back of the head while she's asleep? Perhaps they have a secret agenda? There's a considerable amount of confusion surrounding Wrecker and Blonsky. Wrecker appears to have put all hate towards She-Hulk behind him, yet he doesn't try to warn her about Intelligentsia. Why keep that a secret? Is he only pretending? He doesn't react to Jen's presence like that's the case.
Oh, hey!
The show has yet to address everything set up with Blonsky in episode 2. Why did he specifically want Jen to represent him? Why did he lie about the events of the Incredible Hulk? If this episode is to be believed, Blonsky's reformation is genuine. The ruthless, power-hungry fighter has become a peaceful, spiritually enlightened counselor. That's absurd, especially since we get no information on how this radical transformation occurred. Is it possible he's putting up a front? Maybe, but it's unclear what his end goal would be. Is he working with Intelligentsia? Maybe he's teamed up with Wrecker. At the moment, there's simply no evidence or motive for this. There's still a chance episode 2 wasn't pointless, but the odds aren't looking good. The show continues to reinforce Jen's terrible behavior, rewarding her selfishness and validating her inflated ego. I have a hard time understanding how anyone would think she's at all likable or compelling. And the other characters don't fare much better. Mallory and Nikki have joined the morally bankrupt club, screwing over their own client out of petty bias. Both episodes build up the big bad of the season, internet memers, because there's nothing more intimidating. I guess if you're responsible for this kind of poor writing, you would be terrified of memes. The writers are so insecure in their abilities, they've painted their critics as the villains of the show. I don't know if I've ever seen something so pathetic.